Hi, welcome to Rhodes. Today we are exploring this magical Greek island. This is one of the best preserved medieval cities in all of Europe. So come with us as we show you around the city.
Rhodes is an easy port to do on your own. You can be through the port and standing beneath the walls of Old Town in under 10 minutes. You walk off the ship, follow the waterfront, and there it is. If you like cruise port guides that explain what you can do without spending lots of money, hit like and subscribe to our channel. Now go see it. Subscribing is free, and it helps us out so much as we continue making videos like this one. The harbor is a practical first stop if you've arrived without a plan. Tour operators advertise bus trips, private drivers, boat tours, and last-minute excursions to Lindos or the beaches. We have links to Rhodes shore excursions at nowgoseeit.com. Check the pinned comment or scan the QR code on screen to visit our corresponding blog post. Booking ahead gives you more choices, but Rhodes is one of the better ports for making a respectable plan after you arrive. The first thing you see as you walk toward the city is the massive stone fortification surrounding the medieval city of Rhodes. The walls run for about 2.5 miles or about 4 kilometers, but this is still a living city with homes, restaurants, shops, museums, and a surprising number of cats. We enter near the Sea Gate, one of the most dramatic entrances into Old Town. 2 round towers frame a large arch facing the harbor. It immediately lets you know that Rhodes had defenses, money, and no interest in being easy to conquer. Once inside the walls, we started shopping, and Rhodes immediately became one of our favorite shopping ports of the Greek islands. Mykonos and Santorini have plenty of stores, but many of them know exactly where they are. Prices rise quickly once the shop has a caldera view or a windmill in the background. Rhodes had more competition, a broader mix of stores, and noticeably better prices. If you plan to buy souvenirs, gifts, clothing, food products, or something that will later make you question your airline baggage allowance, Rhodes is where I would do most of it. Socrates Street is one of the main shopping routes, along with the smaller streets branching away from it. You'll find blue eye charms, ceramics, olive wood utensils, soaps, jewelry, sandals, bags, art, and enough products covered in Greek theming to furnish an entire Greek-style restaurant. Food shops sell flavored salts, spices, herbs, honey, olive oil, sweets, local wine, ozu, and fruit liqueurs. Just remember that liquids can become an expensive donation to airport security. Clothing is everywhere. Linen shirts, dresses, beach cover-ups, hats, and the flowy Greek-style clothing that makes everyone look like attendees at a very relaxed island wedding. Quality varies, so compare a few shops before panic purchasing at the first rack. Leather was one of the best values we found. One shop measured us, cut belts to size, added the buckles, and sent us away with custom-fitted belts for €5 each. €5. I've paid more for a drink I didn't like. Shopping also came with a large supporting cast of cats. Cats sleeping in doorways, cats under restaurant tables, cats sitting in doorways like they were the shopkeeper. Rhodes may have been defended by knights, but it's currently supervised by cats. Eventually, we pulled ourselves away from the stores and headed to the Archaeological Museum of Rhodes. We need to be honest about how we arrived there. We thought we were entering the palace of the Grand Master. We bought tickets, walked inside, and slowly realized this building contained a surprising number of ancient pots for a palace. At first, we were annoyed that we had gone to the wrong place. Then the museum kept getting better, and by the time we left, it had become one of our favorite stops of the cruise. The museum is housed inside the former Hospital of the Knights, an enormous stone building constructed during the 1400s. A large courtyard is surrounded by arches, staircases, upper galleries, and rooms that once served the hospital. It feels more like exploring a small fortress than walking through a standard museum. The collection covers thousands of years from Rhodes and nearby islands. We saw pottery, jewelry, coins, tools, grave markers, sculptures, and finds from other nearby islands. There are pieces from temples and homes, and enough detached stone heads to satisfy Archaeological Museum regulations. Highlights include the crouching Aphrodite, Hellenistic mosaics, prehistoric finds, and engraved stone inscriptions. The building keeps unfolding into more rooms and courtyards. Then there are the gardens, which is where we really fell in love with this museum. Stone paths connect outdoor spaces filled with plants, fountains, ancient fragments, mosaics, orange trees, flowers, and of course, more cats. We spent far more time here than we expected. Even if ancient pottery normally sends you searching for an exit, the former hospital, courtyards, sculptures, and gardens make this a must-see in Rhodes. Admission was €10 when we visited, but hours, prices, and open galleries change with the season. Check the official Greek Ministry of Culture information before visiting. There's a link on the corresponding blog post at nowgoseeit.com. Also, make sure you're entering the building you think you're entering, although our mistake worked out very well. After leaving the museum, we found the palace we had intended to visit, the Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes. This enormous castle dominates the northern end of Old Town. The Knights of St. John controlled Rhodes from the early 1300s until the Ottoman conquest in the 1500s. The palace served as their headquarters, administrative center, and residence. The exterior has round towers, battlements, thick stone walls, enormous doors, and a courtyard ready for someone to announce a tournament. This may be the most Super Mario Bros. Castle we have ever visited. Every tower looks as if a flag should be sticking out of it. Every staircase appears to lead toward another boss battle. I spent much of the visit looking for a princess, but I learned she had been moved to another castle. The palace was heavily reconstructed during the Italian occupation in the 1930s to repair damage caused by an explosion in the 1800s. Inside the palace, stone staircases lead to large halls, galleries, private rooms, and long corridors. The rooms contain medieval furniture, carved chests, tapestries, statues, coats of arms, and elaborate mosaic floors brought from the island of Kos. Some European palaces look as though the royal family never threw anything away. This one is more open, with the scale of the rooms, stonework, and floors doing most of the work. We loved it. It's impressive, easy to explore at your own pace, and different enough from the Archaeological Museum that I would not choose between them. See both, just preferably in the order you intended. From the palace, we walked down the Street of the Knights. This sloped street connected the palace with the hospital and the port. The Knight Order was divided into language and regional groups called tongues, and several maintained inns here. Coats of arms still appear above the doorways. The street is short, but it's one of the best preserved medieval streets in the world. At the bottom, we return to our other major historical activity, more shopping. We followed the commercial streets toward Hippocrates Square, one of the main gathering places in Old Town. Restaurants, shops, and stone buildings surround a decorative fountain. The large Castellania building overlooking the square once served as a merchant's court and a commercial center. Not far away are the ruins of the Church of the Virgin of the Burg. The Gothic church dates to the 1300s. Much of it was destroyed over the centuries, including heavy damage during World War II. But tall stone arches and 3 surviving apses still outline the original building. There's no roof and little interior left, but you can stand where the nave once ran and look through the old arches. It's a quick, free stop. From there, we follow the shore towards Elli Beach. The route takes you around Mandraki Harbor, where 3 old windmills stand along the harbor wall. They were used to process grain unloaded from merchant ships. They also provide evidence that Mykonos doesn't have the exclusive ownership of Greek windmills. At the harbor entrance, a stag and doe stand on tall stone columns. Deer are a symbol of Rhodes, and these statues now mark the entrance. This area is commonly connected to the Colossus of Rhodes, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Colossus was an enormous bronze statue of the sun god Helios, built more than 2,000 years ago after Rhodes successfully defended itself during a siege. It stood about 30 meters high. An earthquake brought it down only a few decades after completion. No one knows its exact appearance or location. The familiar image of it standing with 1 foot on each side of the harbor while ships passed underneath is almost certainly wrong. It would have been an impressive traffic obstruction. The deer columns are sometimes presented as the location of its feet, but that's local tradition rather than settled archaeological fact. Rhodes is not the only ancient wonder on this cruise. Another appears in our Bodrum vlog, where we visit the remains of the mausoleum at Harkalonassus. Check the channel for that video. Mandraki Marina is packed with boats advertising beaches, sea caves, nearby islands, and swimming trips. If you're looking for some time in the water, this is a good place to start your day. Compare routes, prices, and return times carefully. Your ship won't wait because an independent tour added 1 final swimming stop. Along the harbor, we passed the Church of the Annunciation of the Theotokos. It was built during the Italian period in the 1920s and was inspired by a medieval church that once stood near the palace. It has Gothic-style stonework, a tall bell tower, arched windows, and a decorative fountain in front. Continuing north brings you to Elli Beach. Along the way, we pass beach clubs with chairs, umbrellas, drinks, and food service. These are an easy option if you want a beach day without arranging transportation across the island. You can also just bring your own towel and use the free public beach. Elli is more pebbles and small rocks than soft sand, so water shoes may help. The water gets deep fairly quickly in places, and conditions vary with the wind. Elli is convenient with restaurants, restrooms, beach clubs, and the marina nearby. You can spend part of the day here and walk back to the ship without having to book a taxi or arrange your own transportation. Near the end of the beach is the Aquarium of Rhodes, part of the island's hydrobiological station. It's designed like an underwater cave with a narrow corridor and small tanks displaying marine life from the Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean. We didn't go inside. While it's relatively affordable, it's pretty small and the reviews we saw beforehand were mixed. We were short on time, so we kept moving. If you visit the aquarium, tell us what you thought in the comments. Was it worth adding to a cruise port day, or did we make the correct decision? By then, it was time to head back to the ship. Instead of cutting inland, we stayed beside the water for almost the entire return. The route gave us more beach views, another look across the marina, and a few unusual shops set up on floating barges and boats. As we continued south, the full length of the Old Town walls came back into view. Towers, gates, stone ramparts, and the moat wrap around the city, while modern boats and cruise ships sit directly in front. The route is easy. Keep the water on your left and walk toward the enormous cruise ship that's difficult to miss. Rhodes was one of our favorite stops on this cruise. The port is easy, Old Town is immediately accessible, the museums were far better than expected, the palace was one of a kind, plus the shopping was the best we found in the Greek islands, and the prices give us permission to keep going long after we should have stopped. You can build an excellent day here without a tour. Walk into Old Town, shop, visit the Archaeological Museum, tour the palace, follow the Street of the Knights, and finish at the beach before returning to the ship. A tour makes sense if you want to visit Lindos, reach more distant beaches, or see the island beyond Rhodes Town. We have excursion options, maps, links, and more planning information at nowgoseeit.com. Use the link in the comments or scan this QR code. If this video helps you plan your day, give it a like. That tells YouTube to show it to more travelers, and it helps our small channel more than you might think. Subscribe to Now Go See It for more cruise port guides, including Santorini, Mykonos, Bodrum, and other stops from this trip and cruise ports around the world. If you're on the same itinerary, check the Greek cruise playlist for more ports you may be visiting. And let us know what you bought in Rhodes, whether you made it into the aquarium, and how many cats you counted along the way. Now go see Cruise Port Rhodes, Greece.